Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be the game of love versus manipulation. Well, I've got 4 emails I'm going to go through with you today. And before we get into the first email, I got a quote that I want to share with you on this topic. It says, "Winning at the game of love is about freedom. It is about 2 people who love as their gift to one another without any attachments to any particular outcome of their giving. The purpose of all relationships is that you go there to give, not to manipulate or to try and either become something you are not or to force the other person to become something they are not in order that you may feel whole and complete yourself. Love is about 2 awesomely spectacular human beings coming together to share and relish in each other's divine magnificence and completeness. If you come from a place of sharing your completeness, you'll never feel incomplete or that you lack something. Total self-love and acceptance is an essential prerequisite to being able to love another for their completeness and so that they feel free to be themselves." Let's go ahead and jump into the first guy's email. He says, "Hey Coach Wayne, it sucks that I only found your info 2 months ago. By that time, my relationship was too far gone and hard to correct." Well, I don't believe in accidents or coincidences. I believe that everything happens for a reason in life. And so you showed up right exactly on time, my friend. So you are where you are supposed to be right now, and you should take some peace and some satisfaction in knowing that. What happened, happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way. He says, "Me and my girlfriend were together for a year and a month. Things got tricky when she started hanging out with people I did not approve of. I wasn't being controlling. They were terrible people." Really? You weren't being... Even if they were terrible people, you didn't want her hanging out with them. For whatever reason, you didn't like it. The idea is you want to be the better option. You want things to be so good when she's with you that she doesn't want to hang out with these other people. But the more you impinge upon her free will and her freedom to be who she is and be with friends who she cares about and her family, the more she's going to want to spend time with you. But when you start dictating, you can do this, you can't do that, I don't like that person, you shouldn't hang out with that other person, it just goes downhill because she starts to feel like she's losing her freedom. You must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. And I could tell right 1 paragraph in, your girlfriend didn't feel free, and that's the real reason you got dumped, even though I haven't even gotten to the rest of it. He says, when she met me, she stopped drinking and smoking weed and pretty much worked and went home. I did a lot for this girl. I even spent $1,000 to help her get her car fixed when she was in a car accident. We even talked about marriage and were looking at rings at one point. Around August, she linked back up with the people she used to hang around with before we met, and things started going downhill. After that, we were on and off because of all of the disagreements. Men who understand women never argue with them. And so you guys were arguing and not getting along, really because you were trying to control her. Even though you said, when someone says, "I'm not being controlling, I'm not trying, I would never fuck you over." What does that mean? I would fuck you over if you gave me a chance. When someone says, "I wasn't being controlling," it's like, deep down I know I was being controlling, but I don't want to admit it because I'm bullshitting myself. He says, to cut a long story short, it was all that we fought about and it was breaking us apart. Well, you were breaking you apart because of your controlling ways and you were arguing. And all that does is cause a woman to feel like you don't get her and you don't understand her. It causes her to shut down to you emotionally and start to back away and start to hang out with all the people that she connected with before she even knew who you were. She basically went back to being the person she was before she met you. And this is what happens when you try to suppress another person's personality or their life or lifestyle. Eventually at some point they start to resent it and they rebel and they go right back to the way they were before. He says, "I got pissed off because I felt that if she loved me, she'd stop what she was doing." It wasn't about you, dude. It was about her being who she is and you loving her and accepting her the way she is. But instead, you had this image of who you thought she should be and you projected that onto her. And as long as she acted in accordance with your belief system, you loved her, you appreciated her, she was awesome, things are great, they were blissful, we're going to get married, we're shopping for rings, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. But instead, you started trying to control her and started focusing on all the things you didn't like, and you just literally drove her away. He says she left, or she felt as if she was doing nothing wrong and just having fun. Maybe she was. It's like, why you gotta complicate things, bro? Take a chill pill. Maybe sit down at 420 with her and blaze one up with her every now and then. Another issue is the people she was hanging around with was family and friends of her ex. Even though he didn't hang around them, I still felt uncomfortable. I did start acting clingy and needy towards the end only because she was spending all of her time with him and not listening to me, and it was pissing me off. You were pissed off because what's behind anger? Fear. Fear that you're going to lose her. Fear that she's not going to do what you want, etc., etc. Therefore, you started trying to force things. When you try to force things with a woman, it doesn't work, bro. You'll get kicked to the curb every fucking time. We spent Thanksgiving together, then broke up the second week of December. Funny thing is, the last fight we had, I hung up on her and she was begging me to answer and come and see her the next day, to which I declined. After all, I was over it. I tried to reconcile with her and she told me that she just wanted to be single. This went on for 2 weeks of me pursuing her, acting like a stalker basically. And then I finally just said, I'll respect your wishes and allow you to be free and single. I was okay with it, and lo and behold, the next day, 3 days ago, I go on her Facebook. You're still stalking her, obviously. And it says she's in a relationship with a new guy. I was devastated. When I confronted her about it, dude, you're out of the picture. You're not her boyfriend anymore. Now you're going to confront her about it? It's none of your fucking business. When I confronted her, she tried to blame it on me. It was, after all, your fault, dude. Sorry. I accused her of cheating, and she said she's never cheated on me, and she still hasn't slept with him. I was pissed because even though she may haven't slept with him, she cheated mentally. Then I'm mad at the fact that she told me she wanted to be single, and the next day she's with this guy. It was true when she said she wanted to be single. It just really, what she was trying to say is she didn't want to be in a relationship with you. But then the next day, hey, it worked out. So he continues on, I wanted to know if I had a shot with her again, even though she's taken. This guy is a very smooth talker at selling the dream. He posted a lot of things on his Facebook talking about the pursuit of happiness and all this crap. I'm hoping it's just a rebound, but I did the wrong thing by talking bad about him, and she was defending him like she's known him for years. He already has 2 kids by 2 different women, so he can't be that much of a good guy that he couldn't keep the others. Come on, dude. You don't even know this guy. You're just trying to find a way to demean him by putting him down so you feel better about the fact that she ditched you and started hooking up with some other guy. Both kids are under 7. She's only 25 and has claimed to hate kids. Well, as women get older, when they say they don't want kids, things tend to change. That clock kicks in. Women are very nurturing by nature. He says, our mom doesn't even understand it. She knows I was good to her daughter. And me and her mom are very close. And we chat on Facebook every day, and her family loves me. I make good money with no drama of kids and baby mama drama. So what does he have that I don't? He acts like a man. He allows her to have her freedom. It's the way it is, dude. It's not that he has something and you don't have it. It's just you're simply not displaying the characteristics of an alpha male. You are displaying the characteristics of a needy, insecure jackass. Controlling jackass, by the way. No woman's going to stick around with a guy like that forever. And only if she has a really low self-esteem would a woman stick around and put up with that bullshit. He says, it's been 3 days since I've contacted her because she stopped responding to my text. So you kept blowing up her phone to the point where, and acting like a stalker to the point where she just ignored you. Hello? That never works. He says, I really want her back because I love her. Well, it's got to be her idea to come back. And I know if I can go into the relationship with the knowledge I learned from your books, things can be better. P.S. This was the first relationship I've had in 4 years. I'm only 26. And I don't have a large social circle of friends, so it makes things even harder for me. Best thing you can do is move on with your life, walk away, never look back, stop calling her, stop texting her, stop chasing her, stop stalking her on Facebook, stop talking to her family members about her and you, because everything you say to her mom, it will get back to her. And all it does is make you look like an insecure jackass. And so when you do talk to her family and other people that you're still friends with, you should talk about, hey, she's with another guy, I hope she's happy. I'm moving on with my life. And by the way, I got a really hot date this Friday. I'm excited to meet this girl. You should be meeting new women. If your ex-girlfriend reaches out to you, you should be like, hey babe, I'd love to see you. When are you free to get together? Great. And then you make a date. Why don't you grab a bottle of wine, come on over to my place, we'll make dinner together. Hang out, have fun, and hook up at your place. Really simple. That's all you can do. You wait for her to call you back or get in touch with you. And when she gets in touch with you, assume she wants to see you and make a date. And then if she says she can or she won't or she's got a boyfriend, or just say, great, I'm not interested in just being friends, but give me a call if it doesn't work out. I'd love to see you. And stop focusing on the relationship and getting back together and all that kind of stuff, because that's going to be counterproductive. Just focus on hanging out, having fun, and hooking up, and let the woman bring up the topic of relationships and commitments. Because when the guy brings it up, that's just more needy, controlling, insecure, weak behavior. So let's get into the next guy's email. This guy's kind of got a similar type of situation here. He says, hey coach, me and my ex broke up on December 1st and I went into no contact for 2 weeks. Well, no contact means no contact. It means you don't start pursuing somebody. It's not like, oh, I'm not going to call you for a week. He says, mostly because of my behavior. I always got mad and jealous at anything. Every time I get mad, I'd break it off. Well, that sounds really mature. I felt like I was dying without her, thinking she was banging other guys or moving on. You are totally insecure about yourself, dude. And a guy that constantly breaks up with a girlfriend, is constantly being jealous, constantly accusing her of cheating, that is just immature. I mean, you're acting, it's like you throw a temper tantrum. She doesn't match your expectations. You throw a temper tantrum, accuse her of screwing some other guy, and then you break up with her. You're in a fearful state. This is not gonna. Nobody's gonna want to be with you. It doesn't matter whether or not the ex comes back. No woman's gonna want to date a guy long term that acts like this. I'm sorry to tell you, those are the facts of life, bro. Because the way you're acting is you're always acting and communicating. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve you. There's probably a guy out there that's better for you than me. You're probably gonna dump me anyways. And eventually, the woman's gonna go, you know what? You're right. I found somebody better, or I'm going to find somebody better, and I'm over this bullshit. I'm over you treating me this way. He says, after about 2.5 weeks, she finally came up to me at work and asked if I was going to go to her party, and I asked why I would do that. I took it as if she wanted to work things out. I felt needy and asked her if she wanted to try again, and she said we need to talk. She ended up telling me that she met someone while she was out at the bars. See, women know your weaknesses, and obviously if she was with you and you broke up with her all these times because you were jealous, why is she doing this? She's throwing this in your face to see if you just go, if you totally come unglued and can't handle it. You ever see that movie, The Thing? I'm not talking about the one that came out a few years ago. I'm talking about like the one from like late 1970s, early 80s, where the guys are blah, 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 and they turn into like these monsters or whatever. It's like she's saying this to you to see if you just totally come unglued and have a meltdown. Why? Because she knows that's your weakness. That's what they do. They test your strength, and when you act weak, they can't help it. So she met somebody while she was out at the bars, got this dude's number, and that she went on a date and hooked up. She knows how to push your buttons. She said he was really nice and liked how he talked to her. I told her that if I was to get back with her, she would have to get rid of this guy. But it's been a struggle for her, it seems. I know she wants to be with me because when we were back, I broke it off with her once again and told her I couldn't believe she would do that so soon after we split up, and I blocked her on my phone and Facebook and email. She went crazy and called me from someone else's phone. I took her back again right away. It's hard to let her go, and I think she knows that. I feel that if I don't change, we will just break up again. But if I do, she's going to think I'm just being her little bitch, and she can have her way with me. She wants you to act like a man, and eventually she's going to tire of this shit and realize that she can get another guy who doesn't act like a needy, insecure, controlling, jealous jackass. And eventually she won't want to get back together with you. He says, how do I become the man in this again after crying and moaning about what she did? Let her come to you. Make dates. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. Stop talking about getting back together officially and all those labels and bullshit. Just hang out, have fun, and hook up with her. Let her come back to you. If I feel that if I give her space and I act like I have a life outside of hers, it's going to keep pushing us away. She made it weeks without me and said she was okay. How do I make her want me like before? Well, acting like a stalker is not going to make her want you back. I mean, I just read the previous guy's email, and that's exactly what it did. It didn't work for him. And over the years, I've got 1,400 YouTube videos at this point. I mean, how many times I got to answer the same question? It's like you see the same results time and time again. I teach fundamentals. I teach human behavior. And like once you understand that, if you still choose to act in inappropriate ways, well, you're going to experience pain. It's just the way it is. It's like swimming upstream or getting out in the ocean and swimming when there's a rip current and swimming against it. Eventually you're going to wear out, you're going to become fatigued, and then you're going to drown. He says, she says she wants me to be sweet, show that I care, and all this shit, but I know sometimes it's not what girls really want. Please help me, Corey. I want to be the dominant one again, not controlling, just someone she looks up to, like her Superman. Read my book. Apply the things that I teach in my book. You got to learn the fundamentals. You got to start acting like a man. Hang out, have fun, hook up. Court her like a man is supposed to do, and leave all the relationship labels and the dating and the commitments and all that crap. Leave that to her. When she's ready to have that, she'll bring it up. Just be an awesome, fun guy. When she calls you, make you the next date and get the hell off the phone. It's very simple. Don't complicate things. So let's get into the third email. This guy says, hey Corey, I'll be asking a woman out for drinks for a first date soon, but I want to make sure how to get a second date. Read my book, read my book, read my book, read my book, read my book. You cannot shortcut the fundamentals, dude. And you're probably a typical guy, oh, I'm just going to watch Corey's videos. I don't need to read his book. And this is like the absolute most basic question that's answered in my book. It's $10 on Amazon Kindle. You can afford it. And if you're so broke or you're just like, well, I'm not going to pay $10 for a book, then you can read it for free on my website. Just read it so you can help yourself. Don't make things harder than they need to be. So the idea, let me finish because this is a real short email. He says, I'm going to make it an hour long so we don't talk about everything and keep her wondering. You don't need to be like that, dude. I will tell her the reason. When we're walking to her car door, is it best to just say, have a great time, let's do it again soon, then go for the kiss? I wouldn't say that. When you walk her to her car, just go for the kiss. Because if she doesn't kiss you back, guess what? She ain't romantically interested in you. Think about that. She ain't romantically interested in you, and she's going to turn her head, and you're going to get her cheek, and then you're going to know never to call her again. Then end it and say, I'll call you, but then wait 2 days and call her to set plans for a second date. Keep it short, like 2 to 3 minutes. Or how do I ask for a second date right away at the end of the first, saying I had a great time, and then say I'd like to take you to this restaurant. We talked about it already on the date. No, you don't ask for a second date while you're still in your first. It makes you look needy and insecure. Like, oh my God, I can't let this woman out of my sight without making another date because she's probably not going to want to see me again because this is what always happens. That's basically what you communicate when you make a second date when you're still on your first date. It's a bad fucking way to go. Don't do it. He says, I'll be asking her out and getting her number, hopefully at her workplace. She has limited time but always comes up to me to see how I'm doing. If we are rushed, can I say I'll just call you later that day, or must I get everything set before leaving? It's at an office where she works, so I'm going there for an appointment. This is what you do. Before you leave, you can say, hey, I'd really love to meet you out sometime for a drink. When are you free to get together? Simple as that. Make plans. Great. How about we meet at Houston's on the Water? It's at 123 Oak Street, 8 o'clock on Wednesday. How about that? Because if you're available on Wednesday and when she tells you her availability, pick a day and an evening. You're going to make evening dates. preferably just meet up for drinks, something really simple. Maybe there's 2 or 3 cool places you can go afterwards. Maybe you can go bowling. Maybe you can go have some drinks, shoot some pool, throw some darts. Cool place to hang out, miniature golf, whatever. Some place where you can go, and if things go real well with the drinks, maybe you can then say, hey, you know, I'm kind of hungry. Would you like an appetizer? And then you order an appetizer. And then you end up eating dinner. And then maybe you go someplace else. And then what happens is you're hanging out in the first date, and as you're walking to the next venue, she's bumping into you. Like if you're walking side by side down the street, and she's like standing so close where she's literally, her shoulder's bumping into your shoulder. When a woman likes you and touching is appropriate, she starts touching you. And so when a woman's touching you like that, then you can slowly put your arm around her, and she'll put hers around you. Or you can take her hand, lead her across the street, those kinds of things. If you're playing pool at a pool table, and she's punching you playfully, you can look at her and say, I think you need to get over with and kiss me right now. And she'll smile and step in closer and kiss you. It's really simple. If she's touching you, it means she's ready to be kissed. It's the appropriate thing to do. And as far as, so like I said, I would make the date right then and there on the spot. And then before you leave, say, let me get your phone number in case something comes up. Pull out your phone and plug in her number, and then text it to her. Or you can, after you leave, you can text her your phone number later and say, hey, it's me, hey, it's Bob. I look forward to seeing you Wednesday night, 8 o'clock at Houston's. You know, if something comes up, I'll call you. Otherwise, I'll just see you there. But what you're going to do when you leave is, like, when you get her number, say, great, I got your number. I'll call you in case this is important to say this. I got your number. If something comes up, I will call you. Otherwise, let's just plan on meeting in Houston's. Sound good? Great. If you get there before me, get us a table. And if I get there first, I'll get us a table. Does that sound good? Great. Give her a hug, and then you're out of there. And later on, you can text her, hey, it's Bob. Look forward to seeing you at 8 o'clock at Houston's. Can't wait. That's it. Or I'm looking forward to it. Something simple like that. And then that way, she's got your number, you got hers. Or she may ask you for the number at the time when you're asking her out. That's what I would do. And then so, say the idea is that, you know, kissing leads to heavy petting. Heavy petting leads to, hey, would you like to come back to my place and have a glass of champagne? Because you should always have a bottle of champagne in your refrigerator, along with 2 glass champagne flutes in your freezer for just this very situation. Obviously, have plenty of condoms in your dresser drawer in case things lead to a successful conclusion in the bedroom. So the idea is, when you guys say you're playing pool and you start making out right there at the pool table and your hands are all over each other and you've been hanging out for 2 or 3 hours at that point, create an opportunity for sex to happen. That's what the whole purpose of a date is. She's sexually attracted to you, you're sexually attracted to her, therefore you go on a date, and at the appropriate moment, you make a move, you start kissing, you start making out, and then it's really easy to lead things to the next venue. Or if you guys are all over each other, after a couple hours, you can say, hey, you want to get out here and go back to my place and have a glass of champagne? Sure, that sounds great. Then she can hop in your car and go along with you, or she can follow you in her car, whatever is convenient. You can ask her to say, you want to come with me and I can bring you back later, or you want to follow me back to my place? What would you rather do? Let her decide. It makes it really simple in that particular moment. You go back to your place, pour the champagne, pop the bottle open, you start drinking it, you start kissing, making out, it leads to heavy petting, slowly start removing her clothing, just like I talk about in my book. Keep it really simple. And then hang out, have fun, and hook up. That's the whole purpose of the two of you spending time together. And then afterwards, you know, you walk her to her car, either that next morning or maybe later that night if she doesn't want to stay the night, and say, call me later. And say 5 days go by, you haven't heard from her. You know, say you went out on a Wednesday night. I would call her again on Monday of the following week. Hey, great to, you know, I'd love to see you again. When are you free to get together? And then you make your next date. It's really simple. That's when you go. That's the proper process. I go into extensive detail in my book about that, but that should be enough to get you through making the date and actually going out on your first date. So let's get into the fourth and final email. This guy says, hey coach, I'm writing to you again here. It's been about a month since I last wrote you, and you answered my last email in the video, Resisting Temptation and Weakness. I'm the 18-year-old college guy, and I cannot thank you enough for the information you have provided me through that video response, as well as the information and guidance you have offered me in your book. I've read it 4 times thus far, picking up on something new each time. Well, you still got about another 8 or 9 times to get through it to really get to the point where you know it, like almost like it's memorized. Not that you're going to memorize page by page, but there's literally hundreds and hundreds of tips in my book on things to do and things to not do, and you need to know them to the point where you don't have to think about it anymore. Because if you know the stuff inside and out, you won't make stupid, unnecessary mistakes and blow your chances with great women. He says, I've applied the techniques and principles, and sure enough, it works like clockwork. So fast forward a month, my ex-girlfriend, who ended our relationship due to my neediness and feminine behavior, now wants to be a part of my life again. I'm shocked, I tell you. I was given the let's just be friends speech, to which I made clear to her I simply was not interested in a platonic relationship. She only made it about a week before she contacted me again. She was away at school, and when she got home for Christmas, she asked to meet up. Again, I reminded her that this was a date, to which she replied she didn't like the dating term. I tell you what, she's a piece of work, but I stood my ground and we made a definite date. We had a great time, hung out, had fun, and hooked up. Ding ding! We have a winner. Good job, bro. Here's where the fun begins. She told me that she was getting serious with my replacement, and she knew the kid would ask her to be his girlfriend the following day, which happened, and she agreed. However, she confessed she is still in love with me. She's dating this other guy and commits to be in a relationship. Meanwhile, she just slept with you the day before. She confessed that she's still in love with me, and she actually chased me out the door as I left and wouldn't let me leave. I held her as she cried, and she kept telling me she loves me. She told me the only reason she agreed to be his girlfriend is because they live together. Well, they live in the same floor at school, and he helps get her mind off of me. That's okay, baby. I don't care about him. He can keep you busy when you're not with me. I mean, after all, she's away at school, and it's not... So, in this particular case, when you're trying to get an ex-spec, it has to be her idea to become exclusive. If she just committed to be exclusive with this guy, hey, you're still a free agent, but she's committed to some other dude, yet she's hooking up with you. What does that tell you about how faithful of a woman she'd be? You're 18, you're young, and this girl is basically cheating on her new boyfriend with her ex-boyfriend. So when she's happy, she's faithful. When she's not, she's a cheater. She's a great sex playmate. Great friends with benefits. That's about it. He continues on. I mean, she says she likes the kid and enjoys his company, but never sees their relationship being as special as what we had. We dated for 4 years, our first love, first for everything. So I understand the deep emotional attachment we have is what is holding us back. She told me the other night we were together that she had no doubt we would marry in the years to come. I know this sounds like some crazy love story in the movies, and I really don't know what to make of it. She's just expressing what she feels in the moment, dude. That's all. Besides, she's away at college. You don't live in the same city anymore. I know what you're thinking. You're 18, rock out with your cock out. Yep. You don't have any experience yet, dude. And she's the only girl you've been with, so go have some fun. Enjoy yourself. It's like you don't know what you don't know yet. It's like what Confucius said. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Oh yeah, you can believe that. And you better believe that's the plan. I've hooked up with several girls already since we've been apart. However, I'm so reluctant to let go of this girl. We both agreed we're still in love. She says she can't ever lose me and blah blah about not being able to live without me. Honestly, she said she regrets even getting into a relationship with this other kid. But the bottom line is, she still did it. What I'm looking for is some direction because honestly, I am lost as hell. I guess it would be good when she finally leaves for college again, but she will live a few houses away from me in the summer. Should I sever contact until then, or at least until she breaks up with this kid? Absolutely not, dude. You don't have to do anything. Go on with your life, rock out with your cock out, and when she gets in touch with you, be like, hey babe, it's great to hear from you. I'd love to see you. When are you free to get together? Make a date, hang out, have fun, and hook up. Don't complicate things. If you do that, you can have fun, and you can still have your ex-girlfriend in the picture even though she's supposedly in a relationship with another guy. That's what you want anyways. He says, I was doing damn well up until this bump in the road. I'm ready to get off this emotional roller coaster. I appreciate your brutal honesty and information, and I know you will offer to me. So that's what I do. Go on about your life, meet other women, hang out, have fun, hook up. When she gets in touch, assume she wants to see you, and get right to the point. Be decisive, be direct, and make a definite date, and then get the hell off the phone. Don't call her, don't text her, don't reach out to her, because remember, she's the one that stuck you in friend zone. Therefore, if you want her to spend more and more time with you, she has to come back to you at her own pace. She's got to feel the freedom to do that. And let her. And in the meantime, you can rock out with your cock out, bro. Play ball. Life is your oyster, my friend. Enjoy it. I wish I knew what you now know when I was your fucking age. I mean, Jesus Christ, 18, I didn't have a fucking clue. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 21, dude. It's like, and look at you. You're 18, you're rocking out with your cock out. I kind of envy you in some ways, dude. So if you'd like to get my help, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or do email coaching, and you can choose either of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab, which will be at the top of your screen on any page of my website, and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.